Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and you join me on this beautiful early summer morning here in Oxfordshire, rural Oxfordshire. Now, obviously my channel is very much MG Rover focused, or Rover Group, British Leyland, stuff like that. So we're going to look at another mark of the British Leyland dynasty today, because we're going to look at one of Triumph's little compact cars that was, at the time, fairly revolutionary. So the Triumph Herald was ageing come the early 60s, and it had gone through several iterations from the 948cc right through to the 1300. So in 1965, Triumph launched a front-wheel drive car, and that was called the Triumph 1300. Now these were made from 1965 through to 1970, and then there was a 1500 front-wheel drive. There was also the Toledo, which was a 1500 but with rear-wheel drive. And then things became rationalised in the early 70s, and everything became the Dolomite. So these very much a Dolomite forerunner, this car. It's got that familiar shape. The only thing we've got different is the front end is more kind of that corporate look that the early the Mark I Triumph 2000s had. So we've got single round Lucas headlights with the indicator and side lights beneath. This car hails from 1966, so of course that was an auspicious year for everything in England. This one's in a lovely, I don't know if you call it old English white, but it's kind of that kind of colour. Love the registration, HBY 4D. Pretty basic. This was the sort of compact car of the time, so obviously it did overlap with the Herald a little bit. But this was designed to be the Herald replacement. But it's got a lot of that sort of standard and Triumph. It's got a lot of that standard and Triumph kind of underpinning. So if we open the bonnet, and I love Triumph with these their forward opening bonnets. Here's our engine. So it's a bit of a different. Obviously, Triumph was part of British Leyland eventually, but how they came up with front wheel drive is a little bit different to how they did it with the Minis and the ADO 16s, ADO 17s, and all the cars that kind of follow that. So the engine we're looking at is the SC 1.3 or 1300. This engine actually started out in a very small capacity in the standard 8, but so it's a standard engine, and of course it grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it worked its way into the Herald in the 1360, this particular engine, and it was carried over into the 1300 as well. So we've got our radiator up front, so the gearbox is actually in the usual place. So the engine is mounted longitudinally, the gearbox is behind the engine, then it's driving, you can just about see the drive shafts down there, it's driving the front wheels. So it's a bit different to how Izigonis and his cronies did things. Let's just have a little look on the other side as well. So we've got, I say we're 1296cc single Stromberg carburetors. I think they did do a twin carb later on, but probably that was the Toledo. But yeah, we got Strombergs with Triumph cars, and yeah, we've got a very simple, easy to access engine bay, typical Triumph layout. We can just about see our bell housing there for the gearbox. So the gearbox is in the usual place. We'll jump inside and have a look at that in a sec. But yeah, nice clean little engine bay. This car was, I'm going to drop the bonnet down again. Oh, we'll do that in a sec. You've got a socket here, Aaron. Aaron's got a socket. There we are. You found a socket. There we are.
Over there?
Yeah, it was in the engine bay. So yeah, so this car was restored about 15 years ago. It's in pretty good nick, isn't it? I mean, it's a nice colour, nice clean car. Bit of repair needed on the door skins. I mean, that's very typical, especially on the near side of the vehicle. It's getting peppered by, puddles and stones. But a real clean car. I love the front end with that corporate Triumph front, and then we've got that slightly shorter boot than we had on the Dolomites later on. But I think it's quite a nice little shape. Chrome, loads of chrome bumpers, overriders. The chrome's in actually really good condition. This one's got a tow bar. I'm not sure I'd fancy towing with a whole 60 brake horsepower that these would have had from factory. Dear little tail lights, really, really, really nice looking. Let's just jump inside and have a little look at the interior. So the first thing on this particular model that greets you is this lovely blue interior. So we've got vinyl seats, we've got 4 doors. But yeah, really lovely blue colour. It's worn very well. We'll have a look at the seat belts in a sec as well, because they're quite good fun. So we've got our typical Triumph. We've got wooden door cappings, wooden dashboard. This one pretty could do with a re-lacquer. We've got twin ashtrays. You've got an ashtray on one side for the driver. You've got an ashtray on the other side for the passenger. So if you want to chain smoke on your little drive, you can. I love these kind of pie chart warning lights you get in Triumph. So they did evolve a bit with the Dolomites. But yeah, you've got no rev counter. We're not in an 1850 or a Sprint, which would have one of those things. We've got amp meter. We've got fuel gauge temperature. This is our that's our windscreen wipers. Not quite sure what that button is there. Speedo here, key barrel, and our choke here. The headlights should be here, but they're actually on here on this car. There's your dip beam on there. Aaron's going to very kindly put the key in for me. Yeah, so there's your little warning lights all illuminated. I love that design in Triumphs. We've got our, what have we got here?
Interior light.
Interior light, which works. There we are. We've got our fan, and then we've got our...
Yes, the fan.
Does the fan work? Yes, it does.
2-speed fan.
2-speed fan. So the resistors still work. And we've got direction and heat. So it's all very, very basic. Lovely, lovely switch gear. I mean, look at that. We've got little bits of chrome in there. We've got a nice little glove box. Beautiful thing. And then we've got this, you think of modern cars with their massive dashboards. We've got hardly any dashboard at all. It's got a vent, no stereo, very basic. Our gear changes here. So it is in the conventional place rather than having a linkage through. We've got an adjustable steering wheel. There's our indicator there. So of course it's, you know, pre-EU time. So it was on that side. One thing I'm going to show you, so you've got your door cards are quite lovely. You've got a little armrest. Your lock for the door is there, door handle there. And then look at these window winders. So you have to pop it out like that and lock it in place to do usually keep fit windows. Really nice little detail. I really like that a lot. Got a vinyl headlining. There's our interior lights again. And we've got a pretty generous amount of legroom in the back for, you know, for what is supposed to be a compact car. Excuse my camera bag there. The other thing I want to show you are the seat belts. So that's where your seat belt clips into. So it's almost like an airline style seat belt. Really nice. Actually worked quite well. Here's the other end. Bit of a yoga to get this done. But yeah, that's your seat belt. Really nice looking thing. Obviously it was Volvo who changed the way seat belts are made in the 1970s. So now, I think I've spoken about this car quite enough. We're not going to look in the boot because Aaron's got some possessions in there, but we're going to get the camera set up and I'm going to drive this lovely little car. Right, I'm going to drive with the window open because it is stinking hot and I just don't want to overheat. So let's see how this thing fires up. Oh, I'll try not to be in gear. I think is that neutral there? That is a lovely, lovely, smooth little engine. That is so smooth. This is from the time when car manufacturers didn't build new engines every 5 minutes. So we'll just clunk, click with our lovely...
The engine's actually new for the 1300. It came out in 1965 for this car, and then the Herald, it came out, it was used in Herald 1360 a year later in 60s.
Okay.
67.
So Aaron's just giving us some...
It was based on the old standard engine, but the size, it was a new engine.
The size, not the same as the Herald?
It was, well, the Herald used it after.
After, right.
It is the same, similar design, but it's just a different size.
Okay, okay.
So in fact, everything in this car was new, basically.
That is incredibly smooth. The gear change is lovely. The engine's actually very quiet. Got to remember we haven't got servo assisted brakes in this, so got to be a bit... Oh, I've driven over here in my BRM this morning, and the brakes in that are shocking. So I should be used to not so good brakes. So we're not going to be flying doing speed tests in this car. It's really about the the lovely sedate way in which it drives. But I've driven Dolomite. I love Triumphs. I'm very keen to do more Triumph videos. That's why I'm starting with Aaron's lovely 1300 that he's got here. But we will feature some other Triumphs on the channel this year, because it's a mark that I do like. And as many of you, those of you who know me well, know that I'm very...
You're in 4th gear.
Oh, I'm in 4th gear.
Wait.
There we are, that's better. Just getting used to the gear. The gear changes, yeah, takes a bit of getting used to, but we're there, we're okay. But we can't go more than 20 because we're in Oxfordshire, so they all have 20-mile-an-hour speed limits around here now. So what we'll do is we'll get up the road a bit. But yes, it's lovely. I'm going to move the camera in a sec so you can sort of see the driving position. But yeah, it's my first driving a Triumph for quite a long time actually, and I'm already enjoying it. And normally, you know me, I like the higher powered variants of all these cars, but this is just really basic, really simple. The engine's got a lovely smoothness about it. But it's not in your face. It's very quiet, very smooth, very quiet. Yes, you. We are in 3rd. So how much would you say what are these worth?
4,000.
About 4,000. Wow, that's they've got quite strong in money, haven't they? Because they.
Well, maybe 3,500, 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah.
Condition. In perfect condition, they're worth 7,000.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but you can get them. You can get them quite cheap actually. They're not very expensive.
The turning circle. I'm just turning, trying to turn round. The turning circle. Can you put it in reverse for me? Is that it? Oh, carefully. Carefully turn round in here. Right, I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see me driving Aaron along in his car, and just getting a bit of more of an appreciation of the lovely little Triumph 1300. Right, here we go. Different angle for you, and we'll head back into Oxford now. So there we are. So Aaron's actually selling this car, or will be selling this car, because I think he's got his eye on something else. What are you going to be asking for this car?
About 4,000 maybe.
About 4,000. So if you're interested, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with Aaron. Yeah. But this is if you're into Triumphs and you want something that's pretty well maintained and is quite fun to drive, then yeah, this could be a car for you. But yeah, it's so nice to be in a Triumph again. The smell in here is just fantastic. Steering's got a bit of play in it, but when you're 60 years old, you'll have a bit of play in you as well. So, you know, you can't expect everything to be absolutely crisp, but it handles nicely. So you do feel quite secure. I know when I had Dolomite Sprints, I would have them sideways quite often. But with this, because you've got the front wheel drive, you just feel a little bit more secure. But yeah, it's just, you can just pot around in this. I know Aaron takes it to various shows. I think, were you at the NEC with it?
Yeah.
Back in March?
Yeah, when the carburetor wasn't working.
Yes, yeah. Well, thank you very much for letting me drive the car. Yeah, been a bit of a busy time for me recently, so not that many videos, but if you want to see more Triumph reviews, Land Rover reviews, MG Rover stuff, still getting used to this gear change, then hit that subscribe button and bell notification if you don't already do so. If you're interested in this car, get in touch through Facebook. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, drop a comment down below, and I will see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers, whenever that might be. Goodbye.